What's going on, guys? I ain't here to waste I ain't here to waste your time. So let's get right into it. Coach Corey Wayne, why men trying to force a relationship doesn't work. Now, actually, I do want to say one thing before I continue is the reason why I really like the idea of this video, haven't seen it yet, is guys will try to say things like, how can I get her to like me more? How can I get her to get over an X faster? How can I get this? How can I get that? How can I get, which is AKA forcing a situation to happen. And Corey came out with a video. I don't know when it was released, actually. I'll check it later. You guys can check it out. The original will be in the description below. And just, again, this is ag flap cap down to a degree again. So apathy, grief, fear, lust, anger, and pride, courage, acceptance, and peace. When you're trying to force something, you're an ag flap, which is red. When you're trying to, and this is in the Sedona method, so please pick up the book. It will be in the description box down below. You know what I'll do? I'll start pinning the comments. I'm going to put a note down to do that. I'm going to probably go back and do that for a lot of my videos. And whenever you're an ag flap, you're going to be red and you're going to be desiring, lustful, angry, apathetic, fearful. And you're going to be in a how can I get state instead of being let's just see what the world reacts to state. And that's what cap is. So let's get it. This video is at 1.25 times the speed. I set that up already. And let's get the higher quality, and bam.
Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be why men trying to force a relationship doesn't work. I've got an email. This is from a guy. He's 33 years old, and he says he's read 3% Man 7 times so far, and he just started dating a woman who was married for 15 years. And I guess apparently she had a rebound relationship with a guy who was a personal trainer of hers, so she knew him before she left the husband. She leaves the husband, has a rebound relationship with this guy, and then shortly after that gets into a relationship or starts seeing the guy that wrote the email. And so 3 months later, he's frustrated because he can't get her to commit. Now, keep in mind, he says he's read 3% Man 7 times. And like all good students know, the simple formula is hang out, have fun, and hook up. It's nothing about a relationship, nothing about locking a girl down to a commitment. And on top of that, there's a section in the book about women on the rebound or women that just ended a long-term relationship or that are in the middle of a divorce and why dating them, they're hot and cold because their emotions are all over the place. I mean, this woman spent 15 years.
Yeah. What do you say?
With the same dating them, they're hot and cold because their emotions are all over the place. I mean, this woman spent 15 years with the same guy.
15 years. Okay. So she was with the dude for 15 years and now this guy is another, rebound or whatever. And after 15 years, she's not going to be over this guy soon enough, especially if it was like, not long after the 15-year marriage or relationship ended. So I actually had a coaching call yesterday with a guy who was in this exact same situation. I won't mention his name, obviously, but dating a woman who's not ready, they are going to be in a situation where they're just looking to have fun, relax, just enjoy some company. They're not going to want to commit. And commitment is a serious thing. And guys get too serious too quickly when a girl is, when they're seeing women. So usually guys are relationship focused instead of mission focused. And guys who are relationship focused, they start seeing a girl and they're cool for a little bit. And then the woman picks up that they're relationship focused and not focused on having a good time, not focused on having fun. So then she'll reject them. And then they, call me and they're like, hey, like, what do I do? Don't date women who are not available, who just got out of relationships. And women, don't date dudes that are in that same. You have to heal. You have to heal your emotional center and your emotional place, your emotional pool, I call it. When your emotional pool is full, it's bad. It's a bad thing. You want it to be empty. You want to leave room for things to happen in your life. When something bad happens to you, water gets added. Okay. This is the analogy I use with my students. And there are things in life and that will add to your emotional pool. So, but what does every pool have? A drain, right? Now, if your drains are clogged because you're not trying to release and you're not feeling it, you're just ignoring it or distracting yourself, which a lot of people do. And they get into another relationship and they're just looking to replace that old relationship with this new relationship. You need to heal. Okay. You have to empty your emotional pool, get it low. And right now, things are adding to this emotional pool. The way our society is going, gas prices, everything's going up and up and up, adding to the stress. It's just more and more stress. So people getting into relationships are going to be taking out that stress on the other person, or they're going to be in ag flap. So they're going to be in the red, which means they'll be fearful of life, of things. You're going to have just a bad vibe, a bad energy. Anyway, let's continue.
Had a quick rebound relationship, and then now she's monkey branched to this dude who wrote the email. And he's upset that he can't lock her down to a commitment. Now, keep in mind, he said he's read 3% Man 7 times, even though it says you hang out, have fun, and hook up. You don't lock a woman down to a commitment. You let women come to you at their own pace. It just goes to show when a guy is emotionally wrapped up and invested in a woman, he's just completely blinded. It's what we call a scotoma, where it's obvious to all of us. Obviously, we can read the email and we can listen to his story, and the rest of us good students can go, yeah, dude, why are you trying to lock this girl down? But since he's in it and he's emotionally wrapped up, rejection breeds obsession. He's attached to her. He can't see that he's trying to lock her down to commitment and doing the opposite of what the book teaches. That's why this stuff is so hard when you start seeing somebody you really like, if you haven't overcome those insecurities, those fears, those doubts. Repetition.
Yeah. And when you haven't gotten over those things, you're going to apply those how you're feeling about your emotional, like, your relationship before, you're going to apply that to the new person you're dating. And this is how you know, is a surefire way that the girl you're dating is not over the ex, is they'll talk about the ex a lot. And what else? What was the other point? They'll be closed off to you. Okay. So when your ex is talking about the person that she was with and compares you to him, that's the other point, I think, is they're not over it, right? They're just basically, you're a placeholder while she's getting over it or he's getting over it. And it's just better to spend your time with somebody who's willing and open and able, or whatever. I think he said this before in other videos, to date.
You really like, if you haven't overcome those insecurities, those fears, those doubts. Repetition is the mother of skill. And the idea is to get better in your dating, because you never know when the next great love of your life is going to walk in. And if you're unprepared, she'll quickly exit your life just as fast as she came into it. So he says, hey, Corey, my name is Bob. I'm 33, and I'm a bit confused about how to best approach dating an indecisive female. So he's labeled her an indecisive woman. Well, that's kind of feminine energy. It vacillates. Men are supposed to be the decisive ones and know what they want. And they shouldn't be getting wrapped up in indecisive females and their emotions, because they should be focused on their mission and purpose in life. And when she's available and misses him, he's happy to see her and romance her. I've read your book 7 times and been listening to your YouTube videos. I said 10 to 15 times constantly. I met a woman who was stunning. And
just so you guys know, you don't have to read the book that many times. That's where him and I disagree. We disagree on like maybe 1 or 2 things. So this is what you do. Okay. Every book that you read about any subject, this is how I study anyway. This might not work for you. Maybe you do have to read the book 10 to 15 times to get it, but this is what I do. I read the book a few times. The first time is just get like, what's this book about? How much fluff is in there? Stories, right? Whatever. And just pick up what you can pick up. The second time you go over it with a fine tooth comb and make highlights and notes. And the third time is just cleaning up anything you might have missed. Okay. So when you make your notes, get yourself a notebook. Okay. It can be a pad like this, or it can be one of those full size, like 300-page bitches, or in your phone. Okay. You can use your phone. So either way, you make your notes in your phone. So I don't care how you set it up, whatever works. And then you go through the notes. But here's one thing you need to remember. When you're in an emotional state, you don't want to be reading the book just because us coaches told you to. You want to be reading the books because there's shit to learn in those books. There's stuff that you have to pick up and little bits of information that are going to help you. But when you're in an emotional state, you're going to be looking for what you can do to apply it to that person to get your desired result. And sometimes that's why the books are, that's why people ignore them, or the books aren't working for you, because you have to detach yourself from the emotion that you're trying, that you're feeling, which is very difficult. But you have to see that the more emotional you are about the outcome, then the harder it is that you're gonna get the results, right? So you have to detach your emotions as fast as you can. And look, it takes time and effort to do that. So that's why a couple of months go by and guys can finally start to see the light, so to speak. But you don't need to read the book 10, 15 times. You just have to make the notes necessary. So you know, so what I did is I went through it, and any of the stories that he told, I got the point of the story. I was like, okay, what's he trying to say here? Right. And maybe it takes you guys 5 or 6 times to do this right, but you don't need to read it that many times. It's very daunting. But again, it doesn't really matter because in his eyes, he's like, look, do you want this to work or not? And I get that too. So I'm just giving you a different perspective because you don't need I've read hundreds of books, and you don't need to read the books that many times to get the point. What I do is I get a fucking highlighter. Okay. I get these ones. These ones are not the fluorescent highlighters. You can find these on Amazon. And I go through the book like 5, 6 pages at a time. Then I put the book down. And then I ask myself, what did I just read? And like, what did I pick up from it? And then if it's important, I'll put it in my notes. So I have a note for each book that I've read in my phone, and I'll go through the notes. That's it. You don't need to do anything more than that. And it works just fine. And you'll get better at it. It's a skill. So it's kind of like studying, right? When you're in school.
The 10 to 15 times constantly. I met a woman who was stunning, incredibly gorgeous, has a great job, and well connected, and we connected very well, both mentally and emotionally. She's a bit timid physically, though. I'll explain. She's rationalizing away her behavior. She just got out of a 15-year marriage and relationship and had ended a rebound relationship as well before starting to date me. So she took no time to heal. That's 15 years. That's 1.5 decades with the same person. She took no time to get over it, no time to be alone by herself, no time to reconnect with her girlfriends, her family, get her life back to normal. She did none of that. She spent no time healing. She just went from one intimacy to another, and now the third one.
And that's a big mistake. That's a huge mistake because so as the woman in this relationship, right? Or in this situation, when you don't take time to heal, the person that you date next isn't going to live up to your standards. You're going to have a certain idea about what you're looking for because you're in an emotional state. See, like I said earlier about the reading, when you're emotional, you're not going to be thinking logically and clearly about what you want. So you have to, again, heal. When you're healed, you can see things properly. And this woman's not doing that. She's going from relationship to relationship, which is, obviously not something she should be doing. She should be healing. So she's also a problem here too. But the guy is the bigger problem here because his focus is so backwards. So far.
As I talk about in the book, women are going to be like, and so when you come across somebody like this, you got to go, hey, she's a drifter. She's going to come and go. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, that's okay too. But he doesn't see it that way because he's focused on what he wants. And he's ignoring how she's showing up. She told me originally that she was just looking to date people. Women help you when they like you. So she's telling them. And that she hadn't been with anyone other than her ex-husband or her rebound, which was a personal trainer she knew for years. Both her ex and her rebound sounded very critical of her, hence why I think she was very timid physically. Again, look at all the rationalizations he's going through to explain her behavior. Dude, she just got out of a 15-year relationship. I talk about this in the book. This is what happens when you date somebody in the middle of a divorce, right out of a marriage, no time to heal. This is what you get. This is why you shouldn't be putting all your eggs in this one basket.
Yeah, you shouldn't. And you should be dating and circulating and just keeping it moving because again, dating somebody who's not ready, they're just not going to commit. And you can tell within a couple of weeks what they're going to be like, sometimes months, because they can sometimes hide it. But when they're not showing up and they're starting to show you red flags and they're hot and cold, just back off, right? And they'll reach out to you sometimes. You can set some dates and you can say, okay, cool, like we can see each other, whatever, and just go have fun. And down the road, she may get over it and go work through her emotions and work through her shit. And you're having fun with her. She'll be attached to you and you guys can make something happen. But guys are so quick to force things and push things into a relationship category because you're thirsty. Again, egg flap. Okay. Lust. When you're lusting for someone, you're attached to the outcome. You're, fearful that you can't find another person. So you're like, I need to find another person quickly. That kind of shit is always going to make you thirsty and undesirable.
Maybe a few years before she's ready. It's not your job to fix her or to save her or come in and be Mr. Knight in Shining Armor and show what a great guy you are and how you're different than all the rest. He says it has been the only rough spot of our relationship. Notice how he refers to it as a relationship. She just wants to casually date. He says, our relationship. So it's obvious from that little comment, he's not paying attention to what the book said. He's focused on, instead of hanging out, having fun, and hooking up, he's focused on hanging out, having fun, and locking her down. And that's not the formula. And if you don't use the correct formula, you get undesirable results.
It's facts.
Anyway, we dated for about 3 months, and you could tell her attraction level for me was 8 to 9 at the time, probably before he lowered it.
Going back a minute, because he talked about hanging out, having fun. Just remember, relationships are not supposed to be serious all the time. That girl just wants to have fun with you. And when you meet somebody, the things you have in common, you do those things more and more often, and you're going to find out what more things you have in common. And you just keep repeating the process and having great dates. And when you have great dates, you have fun. You're in a positive energy and positive mental attitude, and you're gonna, just be a more desirable person because you're like, I just want to have fun with you. Lighthearted behavior, right? Charming. You're going to be way more charming when you're that way, instead of being attached and angry and forceful and fearful. Really, it's really just fear that's really driving it.
She agreed to go on a 3-day trip to the mountains and a 6-day trip to Florida at the end of our 3 months together. He thinks that he's her boyfriend and she's his girlfriend. She's not only hinted that maybe I'm the one, but that she's never met a guy like me. Thanks, Corey. Well, see, you get too carried away in these little things and you think it applies consistently. Women are like the weather. They change every day. So when she told you that you might be the one, that's what she's thinking and feeling in the moment. Doesn't mean it's a permanent, perpetual state of her being. He says, what's odd, though, was that she never asked me to be in a relationship.
Because she's not ready to be in one. Okay? She will let you know. You're going to know. It's fucking obvious when somebody wants to be in a relationship. They don't want you to be with anybody else. That's really what it is, too. Like, they'll look at you and they're like, I'm going to lose a good thing here if I don't lock this person down. Right? And you shouldn't look for that. But the person that you're with is going to make it obvious. Okay.
Instead, saying that she feels she needs to try out dating and see what is out there, as she's only been with 2 guys since high school.
That's also her way of saying, like, dude, like, I just want to have fun right now.
So she's telling you what she wants. She's like, I just got out of a 15-year marriage, bro. And he's upset that she's not wanting to commit to him. When the formula is hang out, have fun, hook up. Why? Because relationships, bonding, connecting, opening up to receive love, commitments, dating and relationship labels, that's feminine energy. That's the woman's department. And you're shopping for what you're looking for as a man in the woman's department of the department store. You're not going to find what you're looking for there, bro. This doesn't happen. If you're looking for bras and panties, you don't go to the auto parts store, and vice versa. You don't go to the auto parts store looking for bras and panties. I made it clear to her I wouldn't be just friends. So she was very conflicted about just ending things, didn't want to lose me, and I wouldn't accept being friends. I've been torn between your instructions, and you wonder why you struggle.
See how he's saying I don't want to be friends, right? That's a good thing that he doesn't want to be friends. I want to make that obvious. But he's already starting to put in some sort of like ultimatum, like he has leverage. Like, I'm not willing to be a friend. And she's going to go, okay. So again, if you're going to be saying things like, I'm never going to accept friendship, and again, you shouldn't. You have to understand that person's going to, if you have no leverage, which means that person's just not into you. You guys haven't actually been together for quite some time or at all. And you're going to have no power. Okay. The only time you have power when that person has invested in you. And that hasn't happened here.
You can ignore reality, but you can't ignore the consequences of ignoring reality. I say 10 to 15 times, dude. You read it 7. And you're going, oh, I'm going to do the opposite because I think this is the way to go. Okay. One between saying to her, hey, go and date, get in touch with me if you change your mind. Dude, there's no reason to be giving an ultimatum. You're just casually dating her. And she told you this repeatedly, and yet you're not listening. This is
Bingo.
One of those guys that women go, you never listen to me. You never listen.
So like I said, the game is the game, fellas. Like, when you learn this shit, that's why coaches sound the same. Because it's your behavior and your perspective and your emotional state that is causing this. And us coaches, Corey, myself, after I picked it up and learned, and Coach Lee and everybody else, we can see it. We can see what you're doing, because when you're in that state, we know what you're going to do and how you're going to do it and what you're going to say and what's going through your mind. So that's why you hear us sort of all saying the same thing in a different way.
And the cat theory you have, it's not a theory, it's a fact of life, bro. Letting her come and go and dating her when she reaches out. That is the formula. Hang out, have fun, hook up, and you're trying to violate it, and you're wondering why you're sitting here writing me an email. Instead of a great success story, because the great success stories, guys always read it 10, 15, 20 times or more, and they actually apply it. You're trying to bend the rules and basically act the same way you did before you came across my work. And you're surprised that you're in blue ball zone. You're trying to lock down a woman who needs her space and her freedom. Remember, the Thich Nhat Hanh quote says you must love in such a way that the person you love feels free. Trying to lock down a woman who just got out of a 15-year marriage to a commitment is not helping her feel free. It's making her feel caged and like she needs space and she needs to escape from you. To escape from your clutches. Over the last month, she's kept in touch with me, but her attraction level seems more like 5 to 7. The interest is going in the wrong way. Why? Because you're doing the opposite of what the book teaches. It warns you. It says, don't do this with women who are right out of a... I mean, you claim you read it 7 times and you're doing the opposite. And you know you're doing the opposite of it. And you're like, oh, I think I'm a special case here, coach. It doesn't apply to me. Okay.
A lot of guys think that way.
Whatever. It's your life. How's it working out for you? He says, hearing from her every other day.
Love will conquer all. I don't. Our bond is special, and our connection is special. So, I don't need to take this advice. Guys do that and say that kind of stuff all the time.
Whatever. It's your life. How's it working out for you? He says, hearing from her every other day or so. She's been trying to date other people, going so far as to tell me she's torn with me because there's just something different about me and frustrated with the dating scene. James Bond would be amused. He would be amused. He would find this humorous. You dare her to find somebody better. Not that you say this to her, but you're chuckling inside. There's not going to be anybody better than me out there, babe. Come on. Wish you the best of luck. In the meantime, he should be dating and meeting other women as well, because maybe somebody comes along who's not just out of a 15-year relationship and they're ready, willing, able, and open to dating. So he's completely taken himself off the market. In his mind, he's convinced himself he's in a relationship with her, and she's just casually dating. And he keeps trying to smother her and lock her down and get her to commit, whether it's in the tone of his voice, his demeanor, the things he says. She doesn't feel free, and he's not getting the message. And he's basically writing in going, hey, what do you think, coach? I keep making the same failed attempts and doing the opposite of your book. She's well aware that I'm dating other people as well.
Does this guy sound like he's dating other people?
Yeah, you really sound like you're dating other people, dude. Expressing your concern of losing me.
Bro.
Other people as well. Yeah, you really sound like you're dating other people, dude. Expressing your concern of losing me. Yeah, she sounds really worried about losing you. And it genuinely leaves me confused about what best to do. I should have brought the other mug. Come on, man. Come on, man. Seriously? Come on, man. Would it be better to tell her to focus on dating other people and get back in touch if she changes her mind? Again, you can tell he's all in the ultimatum mode. You're either with me or you're out of here.
What I would do is I would let her come to me. If I'm a single guy, right? Let's just say, and I'm dating girls. I'm doing my thing. And a girl like this came across. First things first, she's coming out of her, so she's gonna be hot. She's gonna be cold. She's in a rebound status, right? So she's gonna be all over the place. And if I'm dating, eventually I want to find someone who is, who vibes with me, who matches with me. We laugh, we have a good time, right? And I'm looking for a person who can handle, life and not get defeated by life. But I would look at the situation, and a girl being like this, I'd be like, okay, just let me know, when you're available. And I would expect the up and down stuff, and I wouldn't let her jerk me around. Right. So let's just say she started canceling dates. I'd be like, okay, whatever. And I just start dating other people. It'd be that quick and that easy. But the thing is, guys get so hung up on trying to get what they want out of life instead of just letting it flow freely into your life, and then focusing on your individual life. When you focus on your individual life, you're going to have a much easier time because you're focused on your mission and your purpose, and you're going to be more captivating. You're going to be doing more fun things in your life. When you do that, then it's a lot easier for things to flow into your life, including women. So you're going to go out into the world and you're going to meet some girl and you're going to be emotionally ready and you're going to be good looking. You're going to be focused on what you're wearing and you're going to look good in those clothes and you're going to have money and you're going to just, again, you're going to be a catch. This guy is not a catch. He's not acting like one, right? He's acting thirsty and he's trying to manipulate her into getting her to come closer to him and want him more by throwing ultimatums. And when you throw ultimatums with no power, you shouldn't throw ultimatums anyway, but when you do it with no power, you get 0 results.
You're either my girlfriend or you're nothing to me. Take it or leave it. Commitment or else. Or leave myself available for her to date me like the other guys, as our 3 months together never went past just dating, despite how relationship-y it got. It didn't get relationship-y, dude. You got relationship-y, and you got attached to the fantasy of what you wanted, and you keep ignoring reality.
See, and that right there is the whole point. Fantasy and ignoring reality. When guys get into fantasy mode and this is what I want this so bad, and they do that long enough, what ends up happening is the girls like, women can pick up on that shit they can smell it on you. The second that you're in relationship mode, they can, and they're not ready for it. And you haven't built up the attraction and all that, she can smell it and she's going to go, I'm going to friend zone this guy. Or she'll just kind of ghost you or ignore you and message you when she feels like it. And she won't treat you like a priority. She'll treat you like an option.
And you got attached to the fantasy of what you wanted, and you keep ignoring reality. The reality, she keeps saying, I just want to casually date. She knows you want to lock her down. She knows you want to be boyfriend and girlfriend. And that's why you're getting nowhere, because you're acting like a chick. You're doing the opposite. It's a total turnoff to her. And just reading your words here, you're like, oh, I'm going to keep doing the opposite of what you teach, but maybe it'll work this time. You keep beating your head against the wall. It's your life. But I wouldn't call or text her for any reason. If you hear from her, assume she wants to see you, hang out, have fun, hook up. You got to think of yourself as the prize and the catch, the guy who's entertaining any and all options.
And on top of that, entertain, all options, but on top of that, like, again, focusing on your mission and purpose in your captivating life. And when you have a good life and you do fun things and you're focused and, and you don't have to be going on yachts and fucking cruise ship shit just to have a captivating life. You just want to be having fun and inviting somebody into that. And that's when she's going to be interested in doing that, especially when she's ready, right? When she's ready, she'll be like, oh, okay, this seems like a good place to go.
You got to think of yourself as the prize and the catch, the guy who's entertaining any and all options, just like she is. And you should have the attitude of may the best girl win. Instead, you're already trying to give her the trophy for having won the race.
Exactly. And I think, we nailed the point here. So this guy is just thirsty and he's trying to force things. And look, when you do that, it's only going to be a detriment to you. And you're just going to come off thirsty and needy and relationship focused. And when you're relationship focused, she's just going to be turned off. So anyway, that's it for this video. Go check out Corey Wayne, and if you want any coaching, it's down below. You should see it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Done.